Hey everybody, Billy from Billy's Bike Adventures. Thanks for tuning in today and watching the video. Now you may or may not know that this winter riding season here in the UK, I have been part of the Keis Inspiring Riders programme. And Keis is a heated clothing company. As you can see, I'm wearing some of their clothing now, heated jacket, trousers, some gloves here as well. And what Keis have asked me and a number of other people that are on social media to do is to ride through this winter season with their heated clothing. So they've supplied all of us with some of their heated clothing and just report back on it. And so what I'm going to do today is to talk to you about how well these have performed this winter riding season and how my trips have fared because of it. If that's of some interest, keep watching and let's get into it. Right, so let's talk about the gloves first of all, okay? So these are the Keis winter waterproof gloves. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about how they work. There's a video on my channel. There's a link at the end or in the description for this video. If you want to know how these work, how they wire up, check out that video. That'll show you everything that you need to know. But essentially, these performed quite well. They are winter gloves in themselves. So in their own right, they are winter gloves, waterproof. And they have a touchscreen sensitive index finger on each glove. And so even without the heated elements of this glove on, these perform well in the winter anyway. So when these are switched on, and you switch them on just with the button here, when these are switched on, the heat is not in the fingers. The heat is on the top end of the glove. And if you've got heated grips as well, that combined with your heated grips makes these gloves really, really nice. You've got the warmth on the top of the hands, and that is sufficient to make sure that your fingertips don't get cold as well. I sometimes, even though I've got the heated grips on my bike switched on, I do sometimes find that my fingers do get cold. With the added elements on the top of these gloves when they're switched on, and you can switch these to high, medium or low, or red, orange or green as they are indicated on the light on the back of the glove here. It really, really does make a difference. And I didn't find my hands getting cold at all. Notably for me, one of the worst trips that I did in terms of the cold weather riding was to Wales this year, Snowdonia. And the trip up from here in Cambridge all the way to North Wales, about 3.5 hours journey time. And it was awful. It was about, on average, 1.5 to 2 degrees all the way through that 3.5 hour period. And but thankfully though, my hands did not get cold. The combination of my heated grips and these heated gloves, I didn't feel any cold at all, and I was very comfortable with these heated gloves on. So I'd recommend them. They are very, very good. They're also very comfortable as well. As I said, if you want to know more features of these gloves, there's a video on the channel that will talk to you about those. And so yeah, highly recommend them. Really, really good, and they felt very, very, very comfortable. They're probably now going to be my permanent winter riding gloves, purely because of the heat element as well. So really, really good. Let's talk about the heated pants as well. Now, the heated elements on the heated pants are down the front of the legs, okay? They all go down all the way down to the shins as well. And there's a power point at the bottom of these trousers where you can plug in the heated socks or heated insoles for boots as well from Keis that Keis provide. So at the bottom of these, that's where you would plug the cables for those in, and they would get the power from your bike or a battery that you would need to buy with it as well. So as I said, heated elements down the front of these. Now when you switch these heated elements on for these pants, now they're controlled by an individual connector cable here. You'll get obviously the controller for the heating elements that come with the pants. Once you switch them on, it's pretty immediate. You'll feel the heat going down the front of the thighs, and it's beautiful. Really, really good. On the back of the legs, it's just really kind of like a spandex material. It's quite thin. There's no heating elements down the back of the legs, just on the front, but that is sufficient to keep the lower half of your body warm. And again, on my trip up to Wales, and I'm using that as my reference point, that was the coldest part of my trip. In terms of a prolonged riding at a speed that made it very tricky and very cold for riding. I had the heating elements on in my pants, and it was just beautiful. Again, I did not get cold. Now, of course, when you're wearing these, you will not be able to wear your inner thermals that come with your motorcycle pants. These are just too thick to be worn with your inner thermal of your motorcycle pants. You'll need to take that out, and indeed the same is true of the jacket as well. But it was really, really nice, and in combination with the jacket, I was just toasty all the way through. And so these are very comfortable as well underneath the jacket. They're a snug fit, and you'll need to make sure that you get a snug fit. But when you do wear these, make sure that you're wearing a thin layer of leggings underneath, just to keep the heating elements directly away from your skin, so that there's something between your skin and the heating elements. Apart from that, worked absolutely fantastically. Very, very comfortable, and kept me snug as a bug in a rug. Now let's talk heated jacket. I've got the sleeved jacket. Keis also do a sleeveless jacket as well. I haven't tried that. And I think in some instances, probably when you're trying to do more off-road riding, that could be a better option than the sleeve jacket, because this is quite thick and is very, very comfortable under your motorcycle jacket. Without your motorcycle jacket thermal inner contained within the jacket, you'll have to take that out to be able to wear this jacket. So the sleeveless one is probably better for more off-road riding. It gives a little bit more agility within the jacket. This is not too restrictive at all, but I can just imagine that I think I would prefer a sleeveless jacket if I was doing more off-road riding. This one though, it was mainly road riding that I was doing, and this did the job beautifully. The added advantage of having the sleeves is that the sleeves also have heating elements in it as well. And when you are riding with heated elements in the arms as well, it's really, really nice. So you've got the collar that's got heating elements in it, the front of your chest got heating elements in it, the upper back heating elements in it, and the arms as well. So you're quite covered in terms of where the heat is supplied to the body. And again, cold weather riding, when you do get cold, you do tend to lose concentration, or your concentration is reduced. And there is actually papers to be able to demonstrate this as well. So research has been done to demonstrate that your level of concentration when you are riding, when you are cold, is not as high as when you're warm, right? Okay, it stands to reason, and it's probably common sense. So that's why riding with heated clothing on is really beneficial as well, especially if you're doing prolonged riding through the winter period like how I have been this winter. And so it was quite noticeable, I have to say, when I switched the jacket off versus on, it is very, very noticeable, the difference, particularly around the arms as well, and where my BMW didn't give me too much protection. So just down here on the arms and this part of my chest where I had very little protection from the BMW, it's really noticeable when you switch that heat off. And if you are doing road riding and prolonged road riding in cold weather, get the sleeve jacket. You will be so appreciative of the heat that comes down the arms as well. And it's beautifully warm, zips all, I've got my microphone on at the moment, but zips all the way up. And when it's all the way up and you've got the heating element on as well in the jacket, it's really, really snug. And again, I was really warm on my trip all the way through. I pretty much had the jacket on throughout the whole of the trip on the ride up to North Wales. That's 3.5 hours that I was in the 2 degree, 1.5 degree riding. It was raining, it was horrible, it was wet. And I was really, really warm. I didn't feel the cold at any time during the ride on the way up, not at all. I was snug as a bug in a rug from my get-go, from leaving my home here in Cambridge until I got to Wales. Now, some of you will say, well, why don't you just layer up? And that's absolutely fine. That is your prerogative if that's what you want to do. This for me has been quite enlightening in that when I do winter riding next winter, I will probably make sure that I'm wearing my heated clothing again. And that's just because it's one of those experiences that you don't realise how much you want it until you've actually got it. And I would have been one of those people that would have said, I'll just layer up. What's the point in spending money on heated clothing when you can just layer up and take a couple of spare layers of clothing with you in your panniers and the cases on your bike? Now that I've tried the heated clothing, I'm kind of like, why didn't I try this before? So for me, it's been really good. It's not for everybody, but if it is for you, I'd highly recommend the Keis kit. Very well made, very good quality. And it kept me really, really nice and warm. And the controllers allow you to have a low, medium or high setting, both for the trousers and the jacket, as well as the gloves. So if you're interested in purchasing any of the kit that I've shown you today, as well as other bits of item from Keis, there's links in the description down below. The first link will take you to just the Keis shop, so you can shop there, use that link to get through to the shop, and you can shop there and purchase your kit there. Or there's individual links for either the jacket, the trousers, or the gloves, fuses and cables and things like that. So have a look, and please use those links. They are affiliated links, so they help to support Billy's Bike Adventures riding channel, and so thank you very much for that. If you do use the links, it also helps to inform Keis that the videos that I do and the work that I do to share this information with you is actually working as well. So much appreciated if you do use those links. Any comments or questions, leave them down in the description below. Email me at billysbikeadventures@gmail.com. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you again the next winter riding season.